Welcome, bienvenidos. This is Roxana from Metamorphosis Rocks, the place to be where you want more than tea. And today is a video that has been a long time in the making. I promised this video about a year, maybe 2 years ago. It was part of a series I was doing on social media and the impact it had on people. And because it was such a personal nature video, I had been stalling on making it. And then this week, my Google Drive decided to tell me either you start deleting stuff or I'm just going to shut you down, or you need to buy more memory. And I didn't want to do the buy more memory thing. I have a Dropbox and I have an Apple cloud, and I have believe in Prime I have a cloud too. I just don't need that many clouds. I mean, I don't need that much stuff in the clouds. But as I started looking at the videos and the screenshots that I had saved through all these years, I realized that there was a lot of content that I had to go through. And unfortunately, it put me in a really bad mood. But it also made me decide that it was time to do this, because in order for me to get rid of this stuff that I have on the Google Drive, I need to get rid of all this stuff. And I couldn't get rid of it if I didn't give it a good send-off, shall we say. So then came the point. If I show this the way I wanted to show it originally, it's gonna sound like I'm trying to get even with people, or I'm trying to do something to people, and that's not it. And then last night it hit me. The best way to tackle this particular subject is if I take it as, what are the lessons that I learned in the last 5 years? I've been through a lot, good and bad. And in my estimation, and I've always said this, social media is a microcosm of what happens in real life. So every single one of the lessons that I'm going to talk to you about today are things that you will see in the workforce, in school, everywhere else. But for some reason, maybe it's because it's in writing, that you have the screenshot, which is a permanent memory of what somebody said or somebody did to you. I don't know if that's what it is. I think it is, because if you've ever watched The People's Court, Judge Millian always says, say it, forget it, write it, regret it. And it's one of those things that, yeah, a lot of people have posted a lot of things that at some point in their life they regret. But the person who was the receiving person in the situation, you never know how that affects somebody. And so I decided to go ahead and make it into 10 lessons that I learned from social media. And in so doing, as I'm talking, because I don't want to be in camera the whole time, or I should say I don't want to be on camera the whole time. Anyway, because I don't want to have my face in front of you the whole time, what I decided to do is I was going to show you all the screenshots. Now, the one thing that I want you to remember is that the reason why I'm showing you the screenshots is not because I want to throw anybody under the bus, or I want to be mean to somebody or whatever. The reason why I want you to see the screenshots is because I want you to see how I ended up coming to the conclusions that I came based on the information that I had. The reality is that I might show you a screenshot of something and you might interpret it one way and I'll interpret it a completely different way. But at the end of the day, what really matters is how we see things, because they're affecting us. Meaning that it really doesn't matter what anybody thinks about what happened in the last 5 years. At the end of the day, I have my screenshots. I know what I saw and I interpreted it X way. You, with the same information in the same circumstances, might consider another option. You might see it A way. But at the end of the day, it was affecting me personally. So my reaction is based on my viewpoint. But that's not just me. We all do that. We all will see something, and we will have different reactions based on our education, on how we were raised, on what we're living through right now. We don't always see the same things, even though we're all seeing the same thing, if that makes sense. If you see a screenshot of somebody saying, hey, you might see it as aggressive. Hey. I might see it like, hey, isn't it true? So that's the same thing with all the screenshots and the videos that you're about to see. You're about to see how I interpreted it. That doesn't make me wrong or right. That's just my opinion based on the facts, which you have every right to have your opinion based on the facts as you see them. I'm not telling you that you have to see it my way. What I'm telling you is to be open to the possibility that not everybody's going to interpret things the same way you did. And so, another thing that I want to remind you is that please don't send any hate to anybody mentioned on this video. Whether you like them, you dislike them or not. I will not tolerate that. Yes, the comments are open, and yes, you can post whatever you want, but if you post something really horrible towards somebody, more than likely I'm going to eliminate that comment. You can say the same thing without being a horrible person. You can tell somebody that you disagree with them without telling them they're an idiot. It's what I'm trying to say. So don't say you're an idiot. Just tell them, look, I disagree with you because of this and this and that. And without further ado, I want to start with the first lesson that I learned on my years in social media. Lesson 1. Some people are friendly, some pretend to be. Now, the first thing that I learned back in 2017, 2018, I'm very much Rose Nyland. If you've ever seen The Golden Girls, there's an episode where Rose is really upset because one of her co-workers doesn't like her. And she is trying everything she can possibly do to make this person like her, because she is the good one that everybody likes. Now, in reality, we all know somebody that everybody likes in real life. It's just one of those things that doesn't matter how rude, how offensive, how crazy, how nutty that person is, everybody absolutely loves this person. We had a friend where I worked that was like that. Unfortunately, he passed away, but it really didn't matter how offensive the joke was or how inappropriate something he said was. Everybody absolutely loved him. Now, is that really true? No, not everybody likes you. But what happens is, in places where most people have a very favorable opinion about somebody, the people that don't like them are not going to say anything because they don't want to, make waves. So what happens on social media, where everything is in your face, is that there's a lot of people that are going to be friendly, naturally friendly, because that's the way they are. But there's a lot of people that are going to be friendly because they're looking for one of two things. Either a good place to stick a knife, or they want to see what you can get for them. It really doesn't matter if you have 2 subscribers or 2 million subscribers. There are people that are going to come into your life just to see what they can get out of you. And the quicker you learn to figure out which one is which, the happier you'll be. Lesson 2. Your passion might not be enough to get you noticed. Now, it doesn't really matter if it's Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, whatever your favorite social media platform is. The reality is that there's a lot of people that have a lot of great things to say and nobody knows about them. And there's a lot of people that are problematic, say the worst things, are rude, disrespectful, and those people get all the attention. In the case of YouTube, it really doesn't matter if you have the best content in the planet. I have a friend, her name is Christiana, and Christiana does excellent work. She's a makeup artist. She's amazing. Her videos are always on point. She has a great setup for filming, so everything is beautiful. And it took us forever to get her to be noticed by 1,000 people. Now, she's gone on to other social mediums where she gets more attention, which she absolutely deserves. And yes, I am putting the name of her channel below because she had to start all over from scratch. But the reality is that it really doesn't matter how good your content is. Sometimes you're going to get noticed and sometimes you're just not. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, you need to make up your mind from jump. What do you really want out of your social media experience? If it's not eyeballs, then it really doesn't matter how many people notice your content. But if you really want people to notice your content, you're going to have to start thinking on ways to get noticed. whether that is buying advertising on other platforms so that people will come to this platform, or whether you're going to invest in an editor and a PR machine behind you so that they can go ahead and push your content out. Whatever you decide to do, and there is no right or wrong way of doing it. What I'm telling you is that just good content alone is not going to help you, or having a good point of view, or being great at writing your scripts, or editing, or whatever it is. You could have the perfect video and nobody watches it. That's just reality. Number one, you need to know where you want to go, and number two, you need to have a plan on how you're going to handle it if you don't get there. Because chances are, in this platform, for example, where you have what, millions of people every day creating a channel, there's a possibility that you're not going to get the attention that you want. So what are you going to do about it? Lesson number 3. What people think about you is truly none of your business. Now, this is easier said than done, and believe me, I know. There is nothing that I hate more than knowing that people think ill about me because of what I said on number 1. I like people to like me. But the reality is that whatever your opinion is about me, it really is none of my business. It always cracks me up because I have met some really interesting people on social media, and some of the things that they say are scary to me because they don't know me. They have never interacted with me, but they either hate my guts or they think that what they think about me is the truth. And I'm going to give you one example that's the easiest one that comes to mind. When I started on social media, when I started on YouTube to be more specific, I would go to everybody's videos, I would watch them, I would either like them, share them, or leave a comment. And in some instances, I would do all three. And some people decided that what that meant was that I was cloud chasing. No, actually, and I don't know why I'm explaining this because people are going to believe whatever they want to believe, but what I was doing is because I know that the algorithm will push content if it sees a lot of comments, likes, and views. That's why I was leaving comments. And by the way, there are plenty of videos where I don't leave a comment because there's nothing to add to the conversation, or I see way too many comments already that are saying the same thing I would say, so I usually don't add to that. But the reality is that the reason why an honest, decent, normal human being would see a video, would want to share their opinion, and they would just post it. I don't sit around thinking that every single person that comments on a video is cloud chasing anything. Do I think sometimes people want to get noticed? Yeah, of course. If it's their favorite YouTuber, chances are they want to be acknowledged by that YouTuber. But that's not the reason why most people leave comments. Most people leave comments because they have something to say, and that is the whole point of having comments. To have somebody that doesn't know me, has never spoken to me, has never interacted with me in any way, shape, or form, come out and say with their whole chest that the reason why I leave comments is because I'm cloud chasing makes them very interesting to me. Because, what? And not only that, my favorite is when somebody that has spent 2-3 years watching my content will automatically believe what somebody who's never been on the channel, never spoken to me, never interacted with me, they believe that person, even though they've spent 2-3 years watching the channel and they know that that's not what I'm about. That is just mind-blowing to me, but it is a reality. I have had people that started with me from day one, and they, unbeknownst to me until now that I was doing the research, have been trash talking me the entire time. I have no way of knowing that. That's why I said on the first one that, there's some people that are friendly and some people that pretend to be. But the truth of it is that they never leave a comment, they never say anything major, and then they complain about things that have nothing to do with anything because that's their perception of who you are. And at the end of the day, that's a them problem. That's not a you problem. If you're being true to yourself the entire time you're on social media, Or if you have a persona, because there's some people that create a persona, then that's the persona that they have on social media, and that's fine. I don't judge people on how they decide to run their social media, because it's their business. But what I'm saying is, whatever your persona, or if you're being true to yourself, however you present yourself on social media is absolutely up to you. But what people see when they look at you is none of your business. And at the end of the day, let's face it, even if it's a hate view, it's still a view, it's still engagement. If they leave you a comment, even if it's a bad comment, so what do you care? Just enjoy the moment and keep going. Number 4, age, looks, race, sexual orientation, they might all matter, or they might not. Now, I have been asked on many occasions if the fact that I am Latino, if the fact that I'm a woman, if the fact that I'm older, if any of those things impact the visibility or the amount of people that come to the channel or whatever. And I have said on occasion that yes, it does. And I am absolutely convinced. How do I know that? Because there is no reason on this planet why a normal human being, regardless of age, sex, color, race, nationality, whatever, should get no views when there's a white problematic male getting millions of views. In a normal circumstance, the normal person will get the views and the problematic person would be ignored. That's until you hit media, and specifically social media. There are people, and we all know them, who have made their entire career based on their problematic behavior. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. It does affect you to be Latino and a woman and all this. Yeah, definitely. All this, every single social media platform and many corporations make a big deal out of being inclusive. They make a big deal about Black History Month and I think, what is it called? Hispanic Heritage Month or whatever. They make a big deal out of all these platitudes. I believe we're an Asian, and I don't know how to say it, so I don't know. But I know it's Asian communities this month. They make a big deal out of it for 1 month and then they forget about it for the rest of the month. We're about to hit Pride Month. I bet you money everybody's gonna have rainbows and trying to sell you stuff rainbow, but then the next month they totally forgot about the LGBTQ community. It is what it is. Now there are companies that truly care because they're either represented in their structure or because they actually care about the situation. But there's a lot of people that don't care. There is no such thing as old age month or I don't know, women are supposed to have Women's History Month, but it's not the same thing, I guess, or people don't care. At the end of the day, you can still get some progress on, even if you have all those strikes against you. There are people that are using those things to make a very nice living on social media. So you can either use it and let it, I guess the thing I'm trying to say is this. You can let that stop you or you can make it work for you. And that's really up to you. Number 5. There is no point in trying to convince people you didn't do it. Listen, I can spend hours on this particular topic alone, but because I'm going to talk about cancel culture a little later on in this video, I am going to leave it at this. We have a group of people that are very adept at creating screenshots of things that never happen. Now, I don't know how to create fake screenshots. I know people can do it, and I'm sure if I pay somebody $5, I can make a fake screenshot of anything. My thing is, if I have a video and I have screenshots and people have sent me the screenshots, I'm going to go look them up myself. Now, what happens for many occasions, I should say, is that the person who posted that particular screenshot decided to delete the comment. There's a couple of ways that you can figure out if that is a true screenshot or if it's a fake screenshot. There are, for example, when somebody big says something, if you have 7 or 8 screenshots with different time zones and whatnot, chances are 8, 9, 20, 500 people are not going to go ahead and screenshot the same thing at different times of the day, and they're all fake. There is also the possibility that the person deleted it, but if, there's ways you can figure out if it's true or if it's not. But for my sake, if a screenshot is not watched by me and caught by me, I always tell you guys to take it with a grain of salt. And I always show you who gave it to me because I want to make sure. It's not that I don't trust the person that sent it to me. It's that we really don't know where people get their screenshots from. Sometimes we all see a screenshot from a particular source, and it turns out that the source created the screenshot. We all believed it, so when you shared it with me, you honestly believed that somebody said X, Y, or Z, but the reality is that somebody else had faked the screenshot for us. Now, does that mean that every screenshot is fake? No. Does that mean that the person doesn't believe whatever is said on the screenshot? No, sometimes that is exactly what they believe, but we have no way of knowing. Now, in the case of situations that never happen and people are trying to make you believe that they did, it happens every day on social media and in real life. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter if you did it or not. People are going to believe what they want to believe. It is what it is. You can either torture yourself trying to get people to believe you, or you can just go ahead and realize that it is what it is and move on with your life. Number 6. If your audience is mesmerized by the bells and whistles, they might miss the point entirely. Now, nothing cracks me up more than getting complaints about the quality of my videos. Sometimes the videos with the best messages get the worst comments about, well, you suck at editing, or you don't really put a lot of screenshots, or your screenshots are crap, or ew, your video is so slow, or so fast, or so this, or so that. If you are so concerned about the quality of the video, chances are you're not paying attention to the message. So what the hell are you doing here? Because in this channel specifically, and I'm not talking about any other channel, I'm talking about this channel. In this channel, we concentrate on the message. We don't really care about the bells and whistles. Now, that doesn't mean that I haven't done a couple of videos where I have gone overboard trying to make a particular effect because I want to see that effect. Absolutely. And I'm going to keep on improving the effects, and there are going to be better videos at times and whatnot. This is not one of them, because the point of this video is to show screenshots. It's not to make a stylistically perfect video. But the reality is this: there are channels where you go to the channel to listen to the person speak. One example of that would be Peter Munn. Peter Munn has several channels, but there is one channel in specific where he is just giving you his opinion about what's happening. It's the main channel. And there's not a lot of bells and whistles. You see him, and he has props and whatnot, and the phone and the fan and whatnot. But it is about the message that he's trying to convey. It's about his opinions on, and that's true for most original drama channels. That was the point. Now, some people are ridiculously good at editing, and I'm not discounting people who do great editing work. What I'm saying is that the message, especially in certain channels, is more important. And if you are wasting your time looking at, oh, well, you put the same screenshot 2 times or something like that, you know what? Go look at another channel, because it's not the channel for you. Number 7. Some people will hate you for no reason. Okay, the last 4, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all related. I'm not going to read every single one of them and then tell you the stories. I'm just going to go one by one. But here's the thing. If there is one lesson that was very hard to learn, very hard to understand, very hard to internalize was the fact that there is going to be a lot of people on social media that are going to hate you just because there is no because. It's just that they hate you. And you have to learn to live with the idea that if you're sitting here putting your face or your body or your intelligence or your edits or your talent on social media, it doesn't matter which platform. If you're putting yourself out there, people are going to hate you. End off. There is no if, ands, or buts about it. It could be because they're jealous. It could be because they wish they could do what you do. It could be for something as stupid as you said something 4 years ago and they're still holding it over your head. It really doesn't matter. People are just going to hate you because there's a lot of entertainment in that. There's a lot of people in this world that are either depressed, alone. There's many reasons why people do what they do. And they find a lot of comfort and joy in being hateful. There's entire communities on social media, on YouTube to be specific, that are all based on the idea of hating on other people. And like I posted yesterday on Twitter, if you build community based on hate, don't be surprised when people turn that hate on you. Case in point right now, both the Boyd and the hater communities. Now, the Boyd stands for bottom of YouTube. And the hater community, HAYDUR, was based on, I don't know if it was a comment by Amberlynn or Chantal. I don't know where the word came from. But the bottom line was that because people that criticized these two content creators were considered haters, they decided to take the name and run with it. Well, guess what happened in time? Those two communities kind of melted together and have formed their own little cliques, and they all hate on each other. Why are we surprised? People just like to hate. Now, personally, I don't understand that logic. You know, I've told you a million times, and I will stand by this until the day I die. Unless I'm making a video about specific situation, if I don't like you, I'm not going to watch you. I'm not a hater. I just don't care. There's a lot of people on social media that I don't care about. And that includes all of my quote-unquote haters. I don't watch their content. Hell, I don't have time to watch content of people I like. Do you really think I'm going to waste my time watching people I don't like? Do I understand hate watching? Well, it depends. I have some friends that love hate watching, and it's because they're cracking jokes the entire time. There's people that hate watch because they're reporting on the situation. So those people I understand. But people who get all in their feelings and rail against XYZ creator just because they hate them, no, I don't understand that logic. I just don't. Which leads me to number 8. This is Editing Me, and before we move on to number 8, there were some things that I needed to say. I don't know how long I'm going to be talking. I'm going to try to make this brief, but here's the situation. About a month ago, I want to say it was about a month ago, Jan and Irate Alex, I don't know if Irate Alex I believe he had a live stream, and they got into an argument. I don't know if it was on the comments or if it was on Twitter, but the bottom line is that Jan once again brought up the fact that and now she added Fedora Chick, doxed her and her family. And here is the thing. At the time that she made that comment, I did get angry because she has been blaming me for this whole doxing situation for over 3 years now. All I did was when somebody sent me the video where she and her family were getting doxxed, I asked everybody to report it. And you can see the screenshot right there. I had no idea who was involved. It's none of my business. I'm not her friend. I just, as much as I didn't like her, I didn't want her and her family to get doxxed because they had done that to me on several occasions. And I just didn't want... I don't like that, okay? I just don't like that. Bottom line is, come to find out, around the same time that this happened, that several people around me knew exactly who doxed her and her family, and I was not told. So I'm not going to show you who told me, but I am going to show you what they told me. And here's the thing. I'm not mad at my friends for not telling me, because they assumed I knew. I didn't know. And I was friendly with this person. I was very friendly with this person. And I had no idea that this person had done this. But even though Jan was told who did it and that I had nothing to do with it, she decided to continue the narrative for 3 years. It ends today. You've been bullying me, Jan, for over 3 years now. Get a life and leave me alone. Because the bottom line of this video, and I'm getting ahead of myself because there's three more lessons to go, but the bottom line of this video is this. The people that I have mentioned, especially on this particular section, Jan, DC Media Girl, who else? Bo, Derek, and or Paula, Mark, all these people that have made my life a living hell, Elinata, Reese's, all of them people, okay? Some of them I've shown the screenshots, some of them I'm not even going to waste my time showing the screenshots. But these people that I'm talking about specifically, all I want is for them to leave me the hell alone. I don't really care what you do with your life. You obviously love and you think the best way to grow is scandal for views, and that's your prerogative. But it's not mine. This is not the kind of content I want to do. This is not the things that I want to deal with. The only reason why I'm doing this is because I want to have the actual video of everything y'all have done. And so people can understand why I reacted the way I reacted. But the goal, the unmitigated goal of accusing people who you know had nothing to do with your doxing, of doxing you, and then convincing all your little minions that I doxed you and your family, when you knew damn well that it wasn't me. That takes some balls, ma'am. It does. I have to say, I am not shocked that you did that, because you are a vindictive little person. I cannot. There's only one person that has done something worse than that to me, and that's coming. So stay tuned, because I am also exposing that. Let's take a look at number 8. Never take a social media beef to real life. When I was a young kid, I was born and raised on an island surrounded by water, lots and lots of water. And one of the things that I found very unnerving, to say the least, was the fact that people would have an argument over one of two things, sports or politics. And there have been occasions in which people have either lost a limb or lost their life because of a stupid argument over politics or your favorite sports team. And so, like I always say, social media is a microcosm of real life. I have seen with disgust and just in awe as people both in my personal life and on social media that are friends of mine or being friendly with me, and how these people have suffered the consequences of some stupid online beef over opinions, usually, where somebody decides to take that beef into their personal life. What are we talking about? We're talking about stalking, we're talking about doxing, we're talking about calling people's employments or calling people's houses. I mean, the list goes on, and the reality is that some countries, like for example, I believe Canada and Australia, have laws against this kind of behavior. But in the United States, we don't have those kinds of laws. So you sit there and you think to yourself, why are people taking something as stupid as an argument over who puts makeup better or who's a better drama channel and letting that escalate to the point where you turn it into a complete nightmare for somebody? Or you were friends at one point and now you're bitter enemies, so you decide to call their job and threaten to have them fired. Why? I mean, it's just something that is ridiculous, and I really don't understand the logic of it. And my advice to you, if you are a victim of something like this, be advised that you can always go to the police department. You can then go, there's places online where you can report it based on your country or your state, and mostly for the matter of having the paper trail and whatnot. But one thing you can do, because one of the most common things for people who do live streams is this thing called swatting, which basically they call the SWAT team and tell them that they pretend to be you and tell the police department that you're holding someone hostage and that they're gonna kill yourself and others and whatnot. And the SWAT team comes to your house. Now, I don't know about you, but me personally, I have a report on my file, I guess, or whatever you call it. The police department in my area knows that I do live streams, and that if anything happens, to not necessarily come guns blazing, because there's a possibility that I'm being swatted based on the history. Now, depending on where you live, you might have to prove it with certain documents or whatnot. I have more than enough evidence of, well, you can see it. But do whatever you can to protect yourself, but mostly do it so you have a paper trail in case anything happens to you. Number 9, cancel culture, or, like I like to call it, everyone wants accountability for everyone else. Why am I saying that? Now, there's two things here, accountability and cancel culture. Whenever somebody is on the receiving end of what they call cancel culture, what they really are is at the receiving end of people asking for accountability. Whether it's deserved or not is irrelevant. What ends up happening is that the person complains that they're trying to cancel me. And in some cases, people are trying to cancel you. I give you Exhibit A.
Let me tell you what some of my people is talking about doing. This is how mad motherfuckers are about what's popping. And I don't agree with it. Ooh. They're talking about, because what I did was I recorded Rox's entire fucking thread, and I clicked on the likes, so you can see all of the likes in the recording, right? I showed the wrong motherfucker that, y'all. Why'd I do that? So now it's people that's real mad. And they want to take people's photos. This was my idea for many years ago, that if you ever want to get someone back, like a pedophile, this is what you do. Like if they've never been convicted of it, but you know that they're like the neighborhood child molester, this is what you do. Why did I ever say that? So what they want to do is they want to take people's photos and they want to create fake lists or mug shots and say this person right here is a thief, this person is a predator, this person is that, and upload that shit to Facebook and see how many times that shit will be shared. Now, you know, on Facebook, nobody checks to see if anything is true or not. They just see it, they believe it, they think, oh my God, this person is a thief, this person is a scumbag. They believe that the mugshot is real, and what do? They click share because they think they're doing the right thing. I object to that. I object to that being a method of retaliation. Because I don't know anybody in this community to be like that at all. So I don't agree with that. But that's what they want to do. They say, oh, watch this. But that idea came from me from a long time ago.
So this person decided to make an entire live stream complaining about me, and then proceeded to explain to people how to create a fake screenshot of a mugshot. In case if you know somebody that's not doing the right thing, you can do this. And I don't approve of this, but this is how you do it. And here's my question. If you don't approve of it, why give the idea to somebody? The one thing that most of us keep forgetting is that not everybody that watches our content is okay mentally. And people might get a little too attached to you and decide to take matters into their own hands and harm somebody because of something you said or did. Now, when it's something normal, like, you know, this person did a bad makeup job, or I didn't like this video, you really can't take responsibility for that, because that's just your opinion and it doesn't matter. But when you go out of your way to explain to somebody how to create a fake evidence of any kind, that's beyond reproach. Because what happens is that you go to the police department and you report it because, of course, you're terrified. And what you find out is that the police receive reports like this every day, all the time, which minimizes when real reports come in, because they can't tell the difference between somebody making up something and somebody actually being a criminal. And as we all know, it would be impossible for them to go ahead and investigate every single case unless they have a witness saying, yes, this person touched me the wrong way or did the wrong thing. So you're minimizing an actual crime just to get even with somebody you have a beef on social media. Way to go. My advice, if somebody's asking for your accountability, just go ahead and look within yourself if it's warranted, because sometimes it isn't. I'll be the first one to tell you. Sometimes we call out people for things that we see and the reality is very different, so they ignore it, and that's fine. It's their choice. You can either watch them or not watch them. You can either support them or not support them, but don't make up stuff. And if you are going to complain about cancel culture, be advised that whenever you decide to cancel somebody, everybody's going to throw it back in your face. Just say. Which leads me to number 10, last one. Nobody can decide when it starts or when it ends for you. That's for you to decide. And for that, I give you this particular screenshot posted by a drama channel in response to my question if they had received the mugshot in question. And the answer, as you can see from the screen. Now, I'm not going to get into the specifics of my relationship with any of these people. I no longer hang out with the drama channels or anything like that. I do watch some. I watch Magdal, I watch Ali, I watch Peter Mann. Those are the three that I can mention off the top of my head. I don't watch all of their content because I don't care about all the situations they cover, but if they have something interesting for me to watch, I will watch it. I decided to move away from that community back in 2020 just because I was bored. You know, I don't do personal stories. Like, I don't get into people's divorces or marriages or children or anything like that. I don't get into rehab or relapses. Those kinds of stories are of no interest to me. And so, to me, this was supposed to be about fun, superficial stuff. None of that deep stuff that, by the way, is none of my business, because you have no way of knowing when somebody has an open marriage or when they're really, you know, if they caught somebody cheating but they decided to forgive them. I don't get involved in any of that stuff, and I don't begrudge anybody who does that. I just don't personally. That's not my cup of tea. And the thing about it is that at the end of the day, nobody in the drama community can tell me what to do and what not to do. I understand that some people think that they run the drama community, and for a while they might, but the drama community is almost dead right now because nobody's interested in that kind of content. People are interested in other kinds of creators, and you know, I've seen some of them move to other areas and they're doing really well. And you know, if you have talent, which most of these people do, I love watching them move to other kinds of content because it shows that they're not one-dimensional, if that makes sense. And it's okay if you change. God knows, I don't want to do the same thing I was doing 2 years ago. But nobody tells me when to start, when to finish. I killed my own channel. If you look at 2020, how many videos I made, how many live streams I made, you would know that I personally killed my own channel. But then again, I had some personal issues to deal with. I lost my dog in 2020. I lost my mom in 2021. And to be honest with you, social media was like an escape, but it was not something that was keeping my attention. And now that I'm getting healthier, I want to do other things with the channel. So, you know, you're seeing what I'm doing now. And yeah, I'm going to do commentary because that's what this channel is about. But I might do something silly like commentary on why white chocolate is bologna, or why you should not have pineapple on pizza. But that doesn't mean that people, you know, nobody tells me when I'm done. It's the bottom line is nobody will tell me when I'm done. I decide when I'm done. And if I want to stay posting content and only 20 people watch it, and I'm happy with that, what do you care? You don't tell me what to do. Unless you're running the channel and paying my bills, I don't see how you can say who stays and who goes. Which leads me to the bonus, because while making this particular content, actually the last 3 points, this is the third time I filmed this, because the first 2 times I ended up saying more than I should say about certain people, and I was naming people by names and whatnot. And here's the thing, and this is the bigger lesson, the bonus lesson, I guess I should say. Don't let any of this get to you, because none of this is that important. I allowed this to get to me to the point where it affects me when I see it, even in retrospect sometimes. And yeah, I give myself permission to get a little sad when I see some of the stuff, because it is sad. But for it to affect me to the point where I can't function, no, that's not going to happen again. That's just not going to happen. But it was interesting to me to notice that when I was filming this, I would get a little upset and I would say things that maybe I don't want to bring up now, because at the end of the day, and this is why I said in the beginning, don't bring hate to any of these people. I don't care. It's the easiest way I can say it. All I want to show you is what happened in terms of screenshots, and so that you sort of understand why I reacted the way I reacted. I'm not telling you you have to see it the same way I do. You probably won't, and that's okay. Because what happens is, each one of us has a way of reacting to things based on our own beliefs. And what I want you to understand is not that I want you to see it the way I do, in terms of you have to believe me because I saw it this way. No, what I want you is to notice that the same way, not everybody feels the same way about things than you do. We all have different perspectives on what something means. And the beauty of this is that you don't have to hate somebody to see their point of view, even if you don't agree with them. It's like politics, and I'm going to give you this simple example because I know pretty much everybody knows the players. There's a lot of people who are Trump followers and believe that they are Republicans, and there's a lot of Republicans that have been Republicans all their life that keep saying that these people are not really Republicans. Now, the easiest way for you to see that they might be right is because Republicans believed in small government, and Republicans believed that they should not interfere in the decisions made inside the home. Now, how can you be asking to destroy Roe versus Wade, or to make a law banning people from meeting and protesting peacefully, if your party is the one that said that it's small government and that you're not going to interfere in people's personal lives? See why people believe that? Now, you might disagree with that point of view and say, no, this is the way the Republican Party has been all their life. And you might be right as well. I don't know, because I don't care. But what I'm saying is that we all have different perspectives. I'm going to give you another example. Last night I was watching something on Twitter, and somebody was saying that Republicans were horrible human beings, that the person said that they hated them all, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, I can't agree with you. Because not every person that believes in the Republican Party values is a racist. I know it's a shocker for some of you people. But the reality is that, number one, there's a lot of Democrats that are just as racist as the Republican racists. Because racism is not a political issue. It's a personal issue. People are afraid of what they don't understand. People let fear and ignorance drive many of their decisions. And a lot of people are fearful that white people are going to disappear, and they're blaming black and brown people for it. They don't actually acknowledge that there's ebbs and flows to birth rates in the planet, and that just because the United States is finally looking like a melting pot after all these years, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that your race is going to disappear. But that's the way they look at it. There's all kinds of examples all over the place where what you think is right is not necessarily what's right. The one thing that always baffles me about social media is that people want everybody to learn to be inclusive and love each other and blah, blah, blah. But when people do something, we bring back everything they've ever done for the last 20 years because we don't forget. Well, if you want people to change and grow, why are you bringing up stuff that they did in the past? Give them a chance to grow. Give them a chance to change. But we don't like to do that. And in the end of the day, me personally, as I was filming this video, I realized that even though I'm in a very different place from the place I was in 2020, 2021, I still have anger and frustration and pain from everything that I've been through. And that's something that I'm going to have to deal with for a little longer, I guess. Or maybe the whole point of me filming this 3 times was that as I got to hear what I had to say, I decided, no, you know what? I don't want to go there anymore because I don't care. And it's not that I don't care about these people. Some of these people I still care about. It's that they hurt me. They did all these horrible things to me. And they couldn't end me. Because at the end of the day, it isn't about them. It's about your own growth. Now, you can sit here and disagree with me all day, and you're more than welcome to come to the comments and disagree with any of the things that I've learned and why you disagree. But what I want you to remember is that I am basing my opinions, and all of these are opinions, on the experiences that I live based on my own personal life and my own personal beliefs. And yes, I understand that maybe one screenshot doesn't tell you the same thing that it tells me. Like, for example, the first screenshot that you saw was a person threatening to end me. And to be honest with you, when I first saw the tweet, I didn't think that's what the person was saying. It took several people coming to my DMs telling me he's threatening to kill you for me to realize that that's what he was doing. I am very naive in that kind of thing. It's very hard for me to get a subtweet. Like, if you know me, you know that if I go on Twitter, more times than not, I'll be asking, who are you talking about? Either in private or in public, because I have no idea. In fact, Here for the Tea, rest in peace, blocked me because I actually liked a tweet from Dustin Daly because he used a famous phrase, and I liked the famous phrase, so I hit like, and I didn't realize that he was subtweeting her. And that was the beginning of the end for me and Sam, because she hated me because I liked that tweet, which made no sense to me because I just liked the phrase. And it happens all the time. She's not the only one that's done it. But it is what it is. Another example of that is Manny MUA blocked me because I asked for opinions on his palette. I had just purchased the palette. And he blocked me because I asked for opinions. I was not being shady. I was not being rude. I was actually asking for opinions like I do all the time. I do that for pretty much every palette I see because I want to hear what people think about the product. There's nothing wrong with that. But that pissed him off enough, or somebody in his staff enough, to block me. That makes no sense. Which is why, by the way, if I wear his palette, I'm not going to tell you that I'm wearing his palette. And if you know what I'm talking about, you follow me on Instagram or whatnot, you know what I'm talking about. But it is what it is. You know, at the end of the day, we all take this damn social media thing too seriously. But we're not learning anything. We want everybody else to learn, but we're not learning anything. And the difference between y'all and me is that I decided to take everything that's happened to me and figure out what can I learn from this. Because in the end, if I don't learn something, if I don't get something positive out of all this nightmare, it will frustrate me for the rest of my life. I'm very proud that I deleted what I said before about the last 3 points. Because I was going to hurt a lot of people and I was going to bring up stuff that really doesn't matter anymore. And like I keep telling you guys over and over again, the reason why I posted the screenshots is not because I want to defend myself or I want you to trash somebody or I want you to hate anybody. Here's the thing. Screenshots give you a perception based on a moment in time. That person might be nice now to the other person. Well, in the case it would be me, but that person might be okay with me now. Might not be. That person might be dead. We don't know. But what I can tell you is this. I don't want to hold on to any of this. And the only way I could get rid of all of it, it was by posting it here and letting it go. All those people, when I find them, are muted and or blocked. Because I don't want any of those people in my life. They had a chance. They chose violence, so I chose to delete them. It is what it is. But if I sit here and make it all about it being hate-filled and ignorance and don't get any lessons from it, then I'm just as bad as the people that are hating on me for no reason. And I cannot have that. Because at the end of the day, yes, it is about me being better than the rest of them. And if you learn something, you are better than the rest of them. Because you're not living in that hate anymore. I have a lot of content that I want to release. Some of it is old stuff like this. Some of it is new. I am going to continue to make commentary on silly things that I see on Twitter or Instagram or even Reddit. There's a lot of content that's coming, but I really needed to get this out of my chest. And so I did. And I hope this will finally put an end to all the nonsense that has been going on. And I do realize that some people are not going to stop hating on me, and that's okay. Let them hate. I don't have to know about it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons, and have a wonderful day.